And his Enneagram type, with his subtype, with his based on the instincts, is the self-preservation 5. They call this one castle because it's kind of like being very interior focused in your own space and kind of cut off from the world. I remember reading about Carl Jung when he was younger, where he had a hard time connecting with others. He was really internal in his own space, and he had a hard time, reaching out to others and having a normal connection, like it seemed like everybody else had. But he had a harder time with that. But he was so focused on his own interests and everything. So I'll just read what it says here. He seeks insight through his lifestyle and interests as a self-preservation 5. Needs free time, attention, and energy to pursue their passions and curiosities. There's a deep capacity for concentration. They're insightful and intensely specialized. They leverage intellectual and creative skills into sustainable living, free of other people's demands. They may live in their studio or make their living space into an office, laboratory, or library. So it's this very introverted kind of energy for the 5. It's the least extroverted one. But he had his own passions and interests and his own insights that he really wanted to nurture. So that was really big in terms of how he went about things. He obviously, like I was saying, with his Myers Briggs, he has that connection to people, but he is very inward focused for sure. Like most of his work is focused on the inner world in general. So that's his instinctual subtype with the 5. And this is his tritype. If you guys don't know what the tritypes are, they are the dominant types in each of the triads. So you have a body type triad, which is 8, 9, or 1. You've got a feeling type, which is either the 2, 3, or 4. And then you have a thinking type, which is either the 5, 6, or 7. So he's 5 dominant with 4 and 9. It could be a 5-9-4. He could be a 4-5-9 potentially, but it seems like 5 is stronger for him. But everybody actually has a connection to one of these types in each of the triads. So we're all more complex than just one type. So he's the 5-4-9, which is called the contemplative. And this is the most withdrawn type of the tritypes, of all the tritypes. So that's because each of these numbers, 5, 4, and 9, are the withdrawn types in each triad. So they're most focused on the inner world and kind of retreating from others and going into their inner landscape. So I'll just read what it says here. They're intuitive, knowledgeable, and accepting. They want to be original, wise, and peaceful. So each of those are related to the 4, 5, and 9. Intuitive is 4, knowledgeable is 5, accepting is the 9. Original is the 4, wise is the 5, and peaceful is the 9. Highly self-aware, reflective. They can be shy, reserved, and self-conscious. They need regular quiet time to reflect on thoughts and emotions. They delve deeply into mysteries of life and share insights with others. They need to learn to engage with others instead of always pulling away into one's own private world. So this is if you want to explore the inner world, like your own internal emotional landscape, this is the type that's best at doing that because it's all internal focused. So because they're so focused on the internal world, it's a little bit harder to connect to the outer world and to others. So they might have a tendency to be reserved and hold themselves back from others and retreat. And I understand this really well because this is my tri-type. I'm a 4-5-9 with 4 dominant, but I can relate to the 4, 5, and 9 pretty equally. And when I was younger, I had so much introversion and shyness that I could feel my energy pulling back and away from people. And I got better at this when I got older. So I'm not as shy now. I'm not really shy at all now, which is pretty cool. But it took a lot of work to get there. It took, like 30 years to really get through that. So I think this is a similar thing that happened with Carl Jung. He was probably very introverted and inward focused and had to learn how to to connect with other people. But it gives him the skill to delve really deep into his inner world and then share what his inner world is. He's through his focus on dreams and like visions and his active imagination, all that stuff that he explores. That's all really supported by being this 549 tritype. So yeah, that's it for his Enneagram.